have one more author that's due in shortly. Her group are going to be doing more of a dramatic staging of her story. But she should be here in hopefully about 3 o'clock. In the meantime, our collection of short stories is available for sale. $2 from each of the books sold goes to literacy programs, so we appreciate your support. I am going to be the first reader, and then we'll go to Bert for the second one. And the story is, Did He Have a Sister? On the computer screen was this email message that had a subject line that read, "Call me about your sister." It was it was an email from the private investigator who he had hired to find his sister. He sat motionlessly as he looked at the email, and the thoughts running through his mind merged into strong emotions. Did he want to know what the PA found out? Was she alive? Was she dead? Was she happy? Did he want to reconnect with her? It had been nearly 30 years since he last saw her. Did she have a family? What? So many questions and feelings were stirring inside him as he reread the email header. Finally, he decided to call and find out what the PI had discovered. Sitting at his office desk, he picked up the smartphone, plugged in his headset for a more private conversation, and dialed the PI. She answered, and he began the conversation, identifying himself. "Thanks for calling me," the female voice began on the other side of the phone. Her tone seemed hesitant, subdued, which was uncharacteristic of her. "I wanted to verify some information you supplied to me. Is that okay?" His heart dropped. She only wanted more information, and she didn't know anything new. At the same time, a sigh of relief came over him. At least it wasn't bad news. "Sure, what do you need?" he said in a more relaxed voice. "You gave me the hospital and date of birth, your mom's name, and what you believe to be her father's name, correct?" The voice wasn't relaxed and cheerful as he remembered it. He wondered if something else was going on. "Yes, and the accident information I had, along with the high school I believe she graduated from." He paused, wondering where this was going. "I don't have anything else. All my papers and belongings have been lost years ago." "Well, I did some research in the databases I have access to, and well," she paused. The pause was too long. He began to dread the worst. His sister was dead. "I can't find any information on her." "I'm sorry," he said, confused, trying to understand what she just said. "I can't find a birth certificate, any legal information, no social security number, nothing for her. Are you sure you gave me her full, proper birth name?" His mind was confused at how she could not find anything on his sister. He knows he had a sister. She drove him nuts for 9 years they lived together until he moved out. Yes, first, middle, and both of the possible last names she may have been given at birth, he said. His mind couldn't make sense of why she was coming up empty. He was confused, frustrated, annoyed, all at the same time. "I checked everything. I even tried the courts where your mom's lawsuit was held, and I can't find anything pertaining to her. I found tons of stuff about you, but nothing about her." She paused and took a deep breath before she continued on. "I have had this happen once before, and I wasn't sure if this might be the same case, but I had a friend of mine double-check his system, and he came up with the same thing." "What are you saying?" he asked in a tense voice. "I believe your sister is in protective custody." "What?" he asked, not believing what he had just heard. "The last time I saw this, my colleagues said this kind of thing only happens when someone is placed in witness protection program. Everything about their past is wiped out clean." "Are you serious?" Still not sure he was understanding what she was saying. "My sister in protective custody? My God, what has she gone into now?" "Yes, it's rare for this to happen, but after double checking and going through all the databases I have access to, which is a lot, she simply doesn't exist." He sat back in his chair thinking about what she had said. His sister didn't exist. He had lost himself in thought for a moment as he thought back to his life and every aspect she had been a part of. It was impossible for her not to exist. "Hello? You there?" he heard the PI ask him. "Yeah, sorry. This is a bit strange for me, to say the least. I know. I wish I could give you more, but that's all I have. Thanks, he said, wanting to get off the phone now. I appreciate what you did. If I find any more information, I will pass it on to you. Maybe it might help you find her. Sure, no problem. Thanks again, but I need to go now. This is too weird, he said as he disconnected the call. He sat there in total disbelief that his sister could be in protective custody. That she no longer existed. This was worse than her being dead. At least then he could learn more as to what happened, how she died. But to never exist? That was another issue altogether. He was amazed at how the government could totally erase someone's life. He thought, well, not completely erased. He had his memories, after all. But even then, he didn't have any pictures of her or his mother anymore, since they had been lost years ago. His memory was all he had, but for how long? He was getting older. The memory issues were becoming more and more of a problem. Would he one day wonder if he ever had a sister, or if it was just a dream? It took a couple of days to process what he had been told. During that time, he called his aunt, the only living relative he was still in communication with. He told her that he had learned. She too was amazed by the turn of events relating to his now non-existent sister. She brought up the issue of pictures and the fact that she had a picture in the school yearbook. She would still be shown. He agreed with her, that not everything could be wiped away. The thought of some pictures of her still existing gave him an idea. Why not use them to scan the internet for possible connections? With the help of his aunt, he was able to get a couple of the pictures that she had and scan them into the computer. Then with the latest computer software, he ran a search for her on the internet, but nothing came back. She still did not exist in the world of the internet. Was the witness protection program that strict? Probably. After all, they were given the task to give her a new, safe life. He was beside himself, with theories and plots. Like the true writer he was, he created more stories and illusions from his mind than were probably true. Still, it was the fact that something had happened to her that made him wonder what it was. Did she witness a murder, marry the wrong man, commit a crime herself and snitch on others? There were tons of possibilities, and not knowing just drove him crazy with anticipation and thoughts. At this point, it didn't matter if she was alive or not. He knew it would be best just to let it go. After all, it took him 28 years to even get to the point of wanting to really know what had happened to her. He didn't have that many years left in his life to worry about. As weird and painful as it was best for him to consider her as deceased, gone from his life in complete and utter existence. To think about the fact that she may still be alive would only drive him mad. He had to move on for his life and to be at peace for all is well for her now. He was never one for funerals, so that made it a little easier. It was the aspect of not really knowing what had happened to her that kept gnawing at him. It wasn't something that stayed in the front of his mind. No, it was more like a festering wound or an injury that you know is there, but you ignore it most of the time. It was those few times that it did come up to the top of his mind that drove him mad. He had to let it go. His sanity was at stake, but he couldn't. While time had passed from the days to weeks and even to a few months, he would go back to the moment that he was told his sister didn't exist. He remembered her clearly and wonders what happened to her. What was her life like now? Was she happy? Was she alive? So many thoughts about her and her current status, but also about the strange loss he had suffered. It was bad enough that she chose to disinherit him and the family. That was strange in and of itself. Yet now, it was more formal, or was it? He tried again and again to find her, only to come to the same conclusion. She didn't exist. Months moved into years, and every so often he wondered about the moments he found out she didn't exist. It still haunts him to this day. Was she alive? Dead? Was she happy? Were there nieces and nephews he would never know about? So many questions, too many left floating around in his head. It was the unknowing that slowly made him mad. It was the unknowing of the truth that would forever haunt him. When he was dead, years later, He was found in his bed holding the only picture he had of her. It was the one from her high school yearbook. On the back, it had her name and the words, "Where are you? Who are you?" When you practice reading, it sounds so much better than when you actually do it. Any questions about the story? To let you know, it is a true story. It was slightly altered for fictional taste. No questions? Okay. Normally what we do after reading is we take a few minutes to take a break. There's some refreshments. Feel free to talk to any of the authors. Our books are over there, so we encourage purchases. And then we will come back, and Bert will be the next reader. Thank you.